So,
It would be a friendly face.
okay, we'll go ahead and begin this matchday -1 press conference with Nashville FC. We've got defender Lukas MacNaughton and coach Gary Smith. We've got couple questions in the room here, and then we'll jump straight to some folks who are attending virtually. While we do this first question, if you can go ahead, if you have a question virtually, go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll get to those here shortly. And if you can just give your name and your affiliation and keep it to one question and address that either to the coach or the player. Thanks.
Hi, good morning, guys. Well, I had two questions, one for the coach and one for Lucas. Coach, you are one of the only teams in MLS that has played good matches against this Inter Miami with Messi. Are you trying to keep the same formation, the same idea for the game tomorrow? And for Lucas, of course, I have to ask you about that play that happened with Messi. And I also wanted to follow up and ask you about all the abuse that you have been getting in social media. Has it been hard to you and on your teammates? And if I could get an answer from the coach on that too. Thank you. Andrea Llanes for Deporte Total USA. Thank you.
Okay, what one do you want first? We've had some fantastic games against Miami. I don't think tomorrow will be any different. There's an awful lot on the line. The tie's in a real tight place. It's on a knife edge. And of course, Miami will have the slight advantage being at home and with those 2 away goals. But I think there's a huge amount of encouragement for us in the way that the game was played in Nashville. Some wonderful opportunities, some very positive play from our group. And I think sometimes teams just complement each other. The fact that Miami are very, very creative, have some wonderful individuals. I don't think we need to go through those individuals again. We speak about them an awful lot. I think everyone knows that. And it forces teams into a particular style and, maybe game plan that on the day we found some very bright moments and some very positive moments out of. So I don't think we'll see anything different tomorrow.
For me, yeah, I mean, Leo, he's a experienced player. He's trying to get something out of nothing. But I've tackled enough players in my career that it is what it is. If somebody wants to make a fuss of it after the game or in the game, it's another tackle. So, yeah, it is what it is.
The abuse you've been getting on social media.
Yeah, I mean, abuse is the same anywhere, in person and online. So, I mean, I'm ready to play. It hasn't really affected me.
And I don't read social media. And I would say that a lot of those people that write on those sites are faceless, they're nameless in most cases, even though I don't read it. I think you'll find that the stronger characters are normally the ones that are saying that, out in the open when it's a little bit more transparent.
Get another question here in the room.
Hey, Safadine, USA Today. Gary, you've been very complimentary of Leo Messi in the times that you've seen him. Since he joined Inter Miami, this will be the 4th time. You have a 5th time coming up in April. So you've seen him the most out of any coach so far in the MLS. Does that keep you up at night, or how are some things that what are some things that you've learned from going up against him?
It's a never-ending conundrum. You try and set up a group to try and limit what he's able to do. He's proved throughout his career at the very best levels that no matter how good you are defensively or how well organised you are, the calibre of the individual will always find a way. So I do think that the way that we've gone about our business, twofold really. We, want to try and do our best to limit service to him. And then, of course, that intensity where possible in and around him. I think most importantly of all, to be ourselves, to not play a game that is abnormal for us. Is not unbalanced for us. And on those occasions that we have, I think the results have proven that we're just as capable and able when we're going in the other direction. So, look, the game last Thursday, I thought was exceptionally even in terms of chances created. In the end, I think a lot of the talking points were all around a goal that wasn't and should have been. From what I can see now afterwards, should have been. So that's the shame about the night for us. But we're on to the second leg. It's in the background. We know what we've got to do to win this tie. And as I said, I'm sure it'll be an exceptionally exciting night.
Okay, we'll go ahead and switch to virtual. First one I see is Ben Wright. Go ahead. Your mic should be open.
Yeah, Gary, we've talked a lot about Messi and Miami and their whole team. Obviously, you guys made, I think, 10 changes to the lineup last game, and it seemed like a pretty clear.
Not getting anything from Ben. Let me try Jacob. Go ahead. Also, nothing striking out. Okay, how about
Think could be something to say. Think could be something to say. What's your
hold on.
There we go.
Here we go. Let's try John Glennon.
Hey, Gary, wondering if you could talk a little bit about Sam Surridge, being able to play him a few minutes in the last game. How much does that help going forward here, especially with you guys needing to score at least one in the Miami game?
Great to see him back on the field at the weekend. Yes, it was, a bit of a cameo performance, really to try and get him back up to speed again and see if there was any reaction, after his injury. And it's all good news. He's in great shape. He'll be out on the field here training this morning, and he's definitely in contention for the starting group tomorrow night.
Okay, Ben Wright. Let's try one more time.
Yeah, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Awesome, thanks. Gary, I know we've talked a lot about kind of Miami and Messi and their whole team. You made 10 changes to your lineup this weekend, and it seemed like a pretty clear maybe statement of intent, or at least kind of prioritizing this week. Continental competitions like this aren't a guarantee at all. So I'm just kind of curious what your mindset is going into this game, and kind of maybe speak to what a priority it is for the club to see how far you can go in this competition.
Yeah, look, a couple of things really. I think you're right. Of course, there's some priority and some focus on this Champions Cup. It's a very prestigious cup. I don't think we should be expecting to be in this every single year. So while we want to make the very most of it. I think secondly, the group that went out at the weekend, I have an awful lot of faith in. Yes, there's a lot of guys in that group that are normally on the periphery, but I think they showed at the weekend that they're more than capable. And, one or two of those guys have put themselves in a wonderful position, not just down the line, but for tomorrow night as well, I might add. As far as the game tomorrow night, yes, there were some very good displays against Miami. Just a week ago, there were some guys that were very instrumental in a really positive performance. And yes, you should expect that a lot of those guys will be involved tomorrow night. But, I wouldn't be putting money on the fact that it won't be all of them. Put it that way.
Okay, we'll go next virtually to Jacob.
Yeah, Lucas, Jacob Shames out with the Tennessean. When we watch Messi, we see him spend a lot of the game, quote unquote, walking around. Maybe for as much as maybe 80% of the game. I guess I'm just curious as to how different that is to defend, or if there's a strategy for defending a player who's maybe less reliant on their athleticism or explosiveness than, I guess, are you using your eyes more, or you're reading his eyes or his body language more, or anything differently like that?
I mean, maybe it looks like he's walking around, but I think the whole time he's scanning, he's looking, he's creating space for other people to run. So in terms of going against him physically, yeah, it's maybe a little bit different, but it doesn't change how attentive you have to be to the players around him, the movements they're making, and he's always looking for balls in behind, for dangerous moments. And yeah, when he gets on the ball, there's definitely momentum that he creates. He attracts players to the ball. Other players, I think, in the Miami side, when he's not on the field, maybe they don't make certain runs. So it's definitely, when he's on the field, you have to be aware, hyper aware, and engaged. I would say that's probably the biggest thing.
Okay, we'll do one more online. Excuse my pronunciation here. Valer Shabila.
Yeah, really quick one for Gary and for Lucas as well. But for Gary, can you just give us an update on Walker Zimmerman? And then for Lucas, how is this game different, since Nashville has to be on the front foot and more of an aggressor than the usual? Thank you.
Yeah, no Walker for tomorrow. He hasn't recovered from the knock that he took against Miami 6 days ago. So unfortunately, he will not be part of the equation.
One more here. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to change anything from last game. We're here to score goals. We're here to win. In the previous games against Miami, we've shown that we can do that. And we've played them enough now that there's no fear. We're here to win, and we're here to advance. So that's what we're here to do, and we'll score some goals. That's for sure.
Coach Andrea Yanes, Deportes Total USA. I wanted to ask you about Aníbal Godoy. Is he ready for tomorrow? We saw when you took him out last game. I guess you took him out because he was on a yellow. The team struggled a little bit after he came out.
Yeah, I mean, he's available for tomorrow. Annibal's a big piece of our group and has been since our inauguration. He's a good leader. He's a fantastic footballer. And he has wonderful experience. And on these occasions, they're all the qualities that you need. Yes, he is very, very capable in possession. I think it's a big piece of Annibal's game, choices, technique, and ability on the ball. And I think we'll need that tomorrow night. So it's not a surprise when he comes out of the game that there might be a little bit of a dip in those areas. Was it a key component in one or two things that went on? I'm not so sure about that, but I think there was maybe a little bit more focus in the Miami team to get that second goal, and they did very well to build the pressure. So I don't think it's any one player, but Annabelle is a big piece for sure for us.
Okay, Coach Lucas, thanks for your time and good luck tomorrow night.
Recording stopped.